Hello, everybody. It's Monday, April 27th, 2020. I'm going to go over some of the trades taken today, kind of explain what my thinking was when I took them. Didn't start trading till around 11 today, which I've been doing a lot lately. Just find that it's a little bit more predictable at that time. You can see didn't have a lot of momentum, didn't have a lot of volatility today, and started to around 11, which is often the time that we do see a couple of pushes. 11, 11:20. This is Eastern Standard Time. This is when you can often see some moves start to happen. Okay, so if you watch this, you can see my tick strike, which is a little audible order flow indicator, starts really registering.
Okay, starting to see a push.
That's level 9, which means lots of orders are coming in. You can see we're breaking through this little level I marked off with quite a bit of running room if it were to continue to go. So at this point, what am I looking to do? Time in an entry, capitalize a little on this, immediate momentum. So I'm looking for a small pullback and then a re-entry.
You can buy off this level.
So I'm going to scroll up here a little, and you can see here was my entry. I didn't wait for a big pullback, kind of just pulling back in equivalence with this area. And that's a 30 tick. This is my what I have is an automatic stop of 30 ticks and a target of 30 ticks here. Some days when it's more volatile, I'll have 40, sometimes even 60, but this seemed like the right amount for what I was seeing. I'm just scrolling there, and you can see I got the full 30 ticks. All right. At this point, it looked like we were going to keep going down, and you can see that it's kind of good that I got out where I did. My 30 ticks was about right, because look what happens here. Price starts moving up the other direction rather sharply. You can see now some order flow building up to the long side. So at this point, and you can see here on my 1-minute chart that I had already marked off an area of support, and it's buying off of there nicely. Could have had a nice little trade here, but a little bit risky when we were just moving down so hard. So at this point, I don't know if this is just a bounce, because it could at any minute come soaring back down, or we could continue to move up.
I have to determine it.
So I'm really big on trying to not guess what the direction is. I need it to show me through a series of price action. Are we going to continue to pull back, move higher? So I'm not ready to leap quite into it yet. I'll scroll forward here a little bit. You can see we're really starting to build up some buying to the upside. And I got a little pullback, went in on a V formation. Probably wasn't the best move yet, because I still wasn't sure. If I look at my 1-minute now and my 2-minute, you can see we're not really getting signals to go long yet. So this was kind of an early entry, and you know what? It didn't work out. I have a tight stop at 30 ticks, and it lost the full 30, maybe slipped me one extra one too. Okay, by now this one was a little more attractive because we had pulled back to this level here. I like to see pullbacks to certain areas instead of just in the middle of nowhere. And started moving up, but it kind of stalled, almost hits my stop, almost lose this trade, keeps kind of in this. I'm speeding this up, but this took a little bit of while. I finally just said, you know what, I just want to get out of this. And I got out. All right, now we had kind of touched the support 3 times. We're breaking through this little top swing, and again, it almost hits. Well, it did hit my stop. Yikes. Yeah, I lost that trade. Full 30 tick loss. So again, not really reading this that well. Maybe the stops are a little tight, and hadn't really gotten a signal on either the 1 or the 2 minute chart to be going long. So not a very good trade. All right, by now price had been in this little box for a while. Kind of a little range you can see here. Started to look like it was breaking out, started seeing some order flow, but again, not really seeing the type of price action that I generally like. Now the 1 minute chart is kind of on board for a long. 2 minutes, not quite. So you can't always wait for all your different time frames to be in alignment. You know, the shorter the time frame is going to give you the signals first. I like to at least go in the direction of the 1 minute, but it's not a hard rule. All right, so this one, you can see it almost hits my target, pulls back, and gives me pretty much the full 30 ticks. So I'm back to almost even there. Okay, now it's been really starting to give us more strength, more momentum. So it's now a matter of waiting to time in to a trade. Okay, so by now price has made a very small pullback, and I'm contemplating taking a long entry, although I don't really love this trade because I'd like to see it move back further. And you can see I've drawn a little fib here. So ideally, I would like this entry because it would pull back to this level, and it's also a 38% fib. To me, this would have been more of a sure thing pullback entry going long than this, but the order flow looked pretty good, and you can see I went ahead and took an entry there, and 30 tick profit, 30 tick stop. And I wasn't sure, it took a while to get going. I'm kind of playing around with my target, seeing if I want to hold it for the full amount. You can see it comes all the way back to my entry, even though it's barely missed my target by a tick or two. And finally it hits it. So pretty much I didn't see a whole lot else I wanted to trade, and not a big winning day by any means, but if I end up profitable, I'm pretty happy. So that's it.